There are two issues. Unfortunately, the mainstream media treat only one. The first issue is the freedom of religion. And that is that the government is defining institutions as religious or not. We've never had that in our experience in the United States. We thought it was against the First Amendment. And the definition of what is religious is so incredibly narrow because they want to take away the right to institutional conscience, and that's the second question, liberty of conscience. I understand the new regulations expand, not the definition, but they expand the number of institutions that might be accommodated by it. But the issue of government taking upon itself the definition to decide what is religious and what is not is truly a constitutional issue, and that must go forward. The resolution of conscience, institutional conscience as well as individual conscience, is also an item that has to be resolved. And of course, they have chosen a number of issues that relate to what they call reproductive health, but it could also relate to, and will eventually if it isn't stopped, medicating for assisted suicide, for example, or whatever else, vasectomies for men, perhaps. The principle is important of institutional conscience and personal conscience, and if it opens up because of pressure around this particular issue as it's formulated, always in terms of contraception, as if a right to free contraception were now a constitutional right, and you have to bargain with the genuinely constitutional right to freedom of religion in order to see where we're going to go. That's bad precedent. And so do we have rights that are in the Constitution that are more important than self-declared rights or even legislated rights? That's the second issue about conscience. The conversation with the administration goes on, and that's important that it do so. I think that the final resolution will probably be with the courts, because if they decide against the administration, then politically they'll be able to say our hands are tied by the courts. If they concede something that their own base thinks should not be conceded, then they're in political trouble, and I doubt that they'll take that chance. The bishops have made it very clear that the institution for which we're responsible will simply not cooperate, and then it'll be up to the government to decide what it wants to do. I think that's where we are, and that's where we stay.